Hey guys, Superhorrorbro Mike here, and in today's video, we return to Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex as we explore the various animatronic redesigns and their role in the story of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin. So sit back, relax, and let's take a closer look at the nightmarish creations hiding in the depths of the ruined Pizzaplex. The Pat Pats are cleaner bots who were originally designed to zip around the building and act as health and safety notices, cordoning off slippy floors, broken glass, and any other hazardous areas until a servo bot was able to come along and tidy up the mess. In Ruin, they return in a slightly dishevelled form and seem to carry some kind of internal trauma caused by exposure to the Vanny network. Cassie is able to interact with the traumatised Pat Pats while wearing the Vanny mask, shutting them down and freeing them from their torment. While she does so, we can hear the sound of scared children. Were these little bots harbouring the fear of children who previously met a sticky end at the hands of William Afton? Cries of help from a bygone era, now echoing through the Vanny network, like ghosts in the machine. We also see the return of the servobots, though briefly. One reactivating in the gift shop area and another known as Maskbot gifting Cassie the Vanny mask. This particular bot has an interesting visual flourish, the metal of its head twisted into a pair of rabbit ears. Which makes sense as it appears to be under the influence of Glitchtrap and by extension the Mimic. But more on that later. The creepy endoskeletons return in Ruin. These are the unused skeletal mechanics fitted inside each of the Mega Pizzaplex's iconic animatronic mascots. The endos periodically come to life, stalking Cassie whenever she looks away. In order to evade them, she must wear the Vanny mask to move around undetected. Should Cassie need to remove said mask, then she must maintain eye contact with the endos and slowly back away to avoid capture. Surely the most horrifying endo encounter in Ruin comes with the appearance of this giant illusion within the Vanny network, reaching out from the screen of the daycare theatre. Previously known as the daycare attendant, Eclipse is the ruined remains of the Sun and Moon animatronic. In the story of Security Breach, Gregory encounters the daycare attendant, who appears in a friendly, if a little eccentric, Sun form, before switching over to its corrupted and sadistic Moon guise. In the story of Ruin, the two versions of the attendant have fused into one, and outside of their vocal and behavioural changes, it's hard to tell them apart.
No, friend! I am trapped in a lab! Reboot! We need to be whole!
Eclipse, corrupted by the malware that overtook the animatronics in Security Breach, explains that he is trapped in a digital prison, and requires Cassie to reboot him with the Fazwrench. After doing so, she returns Eclipse to his non-hostile Sun form, freeing him from his traumatized state.
Little girl, you can't be in here. It's dangerous. I need to clean up before we can open in the morning. Oh, this place will be flooded with kids. Come back soon and have a Fazerific day.
One of the strangest designs in FNAF history is surely found with the Music Men, who return in Ruin, albeit with a revised design. These pesky arachnid creatures now sport bunny ears, mirroring the design of both the Vanny mask and Glitchtrap. No coincidence, I'm sure. They patrol in groups in the dark and dingy depths of Bonnie Bowl. In order to avoid a nasty jump scare, Cassie must lure these musical menaces out of her path by playing audio cues over the intercom system. Once the Music Men have been called away, Cassie is able to cleanse the security nodes around Bonnie Bowl and escape the area unscathed. Time hasn't been kind on Glamrock Chica, as we see her further decay since the events of Security Breach, where she was crushed and cracked by Gregory in a garbage compactor. After Fazbear Entertainment condemned the Pizzaplex, Chica continues to live on within the ruins. Eating from rotten piles of garbage, her beakless face is covered in melted cheese. Chica stalks Cassie through the kitchen area of a Pizzaplex and comes close to capturing her several times. After entering Roxy Raceway, Cassie witnesses Chica stumbling into a bathroom, where the rundown bird finally collapses in a corner. If we locate a Chica-themed arcade machine earlier in our adventure and manage to obtain a high score, then Cassie receives Chica's voice box as a prize in return. She is then able to attach the box to Chica and partially fix her.
Am I really doing this? Ew. Gross. That should do it.
I smell pizza!
In Security Breach, Montgomery Gator fought Gregory on the catwalks high above the Monty Golf range. Eventually, by firing ball guns at targets around the arena, Gregory managed to drop Monty into the depths below, where he shattered and broke in two. Now, years later, Monty has shed his outer shell and crawls around like a vicious attack dog, pouncing on anyone unlucky enough to cross his path. Cassie first comes into contact with Monty in the sewers, where he leaps out from the darkness and knocks her into a nearby pool of water. She is then washed up on the shores of Monty Golf, where the ruined reptile continues his pursuit. Eventually, Cassie reaches a flooded hallway, where she must stay out of the water to evade Monty as he swims about. Precariously placed submerged objects can be used by Cassie as stepping stones in order to reach a power unit at the far side of the hall. After reactivating the power, Monty is fried by the electrical current, and finally meets his demise. Glamrock Freddy only returns for a brief segment during FNAF Ruin. As Cassie explores Phaser Blast, she comes across the remains of Freddy half buried under a pile of rubble. As Freddy frees himself, Cassie realizes that not only does he no longer have a head, but just like the other animatronics, he has turned feral and attacks on sight, using his torn chest cavity as a nightmarish mouth to chomp down on his victims. Freddy's headless state in Ruin is interesting, as if we recall one of the many endings to Security Breach, we remember that the Valiant Bear was attacked by a horde of security bots and torn to shreds. His head then taken by Gregory and Vanessa as they left the Pizzaplex together. However, this Freddy model has the word prototype stamped onto one of his feet. Now this could suggest that this version of Freddy is different to the one we meet during Gregory's journey through the Pizzaplex. But due to his wrecked headless condition and the location we discover him in, it does seem to suggest that this is the same animatronic that Gregory previously teamed up with. Cassie discovers Roxanne Wolf in a state of torment and anguish, mourning the loss of her once glamorous looks as she stares into the shattered glass of her dressing room mirror in the depths of Roxy Raceway.
Poor Roxy.
Huh? Who's there? You can't hide from me.
In Security Breach, we got a peek into Roxy's insecurities as she monologued into a mirror, reassuring herself she was the best.
Everyone wants to be you. You are the best.
After Gregory scorched her in a flaming furnace beneath the raceway, Roxy not only lost her eyes, but also much of her outer shell. She now seeks vengeance and hunts for Gregory, without realizing he has been gone from the Pizzaplex for several years. Her outer shell is almost completely gone, and now only the ruined endo beneath lives on. Cassie had formed a connection with Roxy when she visited the Pizzaplex for her birthday years earlier. It seems the animatronic remembers her special day and developed a unique bond with the young girl ever since. It is this special bond that saves Cassie after Roxy grabs her while exploring the raceway. the memory of Cassie jolting Roxy out of her corrupted state.
Give me back my eyes!
Ah! Let go! Let go!
I'm sorry. Error.
We learn a little more about the special bond these two shared toward the end of Ruin's story. Cassie locates a trapped Roxy, and by donning the Vanny mask is able to see her true form in the VR-themed world once more. Unfortunately, Cassie must shut down Roxy in order to venture deeper into the depths of the Pizzaplex, as she holds the final security node blocking her path.
Cassie? What are you doing?
Sorry.
I love carrot cake. Happy birthday, Cassie.
Roxy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Though Roxy does return later on after reactivating to save Cassie from the Mimic. Ruin contains a handful of new animatronic threats, the most ruthless and malicious of which is surely the Mimic. Before meeting the Mimic, Cassie runs into Candy Cadet in the ruins of an old Fazbear diner in the sinkhole below the Pizzaplex. Candy Cadet tells a cryptic story detailing the origins of the Mimic.
Now I will tell you a story about a mother and her little boy who lived alone in a cabin in the dark woods. There was a monster in the woods, but the mother caught it and kept it locked in the basement. The monster always made scary noises at night, but the mother would tell the boy not to worry because it could never get out. Then she would sing the boy a lullaby to sleep. One day, the monster stopped growling and instead listened and learned the lullaby. The next day, mother went out to find food. The monster sang the lullaby from the basement. The little boy heard the lullaby and opened the door.
The Mimic's exact origins are unknown for sure, but it seems to have been born from an AI anomaly first created in VR video game Help Wanted. From here, it's mimicked the digital data of William Afton taken from the scanned circuit board of animatronic's Springtrap, and then created a mimic of that data known as Glitchtrap, infiltrating the mind of beta tester Vanessa and turning her into its disciple Vanny. With Vanny's help, the Mimic then breached the security systems and animatronics at the newly built Mega Pizzaplex, and was eventually brought into the real world in a new Endo form. Using this Endo, the Mimic mimicked the voice of Gregory and contacted his friend Cassie, luring her to the ruined Pizzaplex to free it from its prison in the depths of the sinkhole.
You saved me. You saved me.
Gregory?
I'm Gregory.
You're not Gregory. What are you?
I'm Gregory.
Cassie! Get out of here! Run!
Following Gregory's instructions, Cassie is able to escape the Mimic by reaching a service elevator, the Mimic losing its arm in the process as it attempts to grab her during her ascent. There is also a secret ending to unlock, in which we see the Mimic appear to Cassie in a different form, the Endo now housed in a mangled mascot suit, made up from pieces of different costumes found around its room. In this ending, Cassie manages to lure the Mimic into a scooping room and scoop out its endoskeleton, defeating the entity, at least for a short while. As she explores the ruined Pizzaplex, Cassie is required to hack security nodes while wearing the Vanny mask in order to proceed. While doing so, a creepy entity that resembles Bonnie appears and summons nearby animatronics to attack our hapless heroine. This rabbit-like glitch in the system wears a creepy smile at all times as it floats around and attempts to lock Cassie in and out of the mask. It seems desperate to impede her progress, and towards the end of the DLC, we discover why. The entity is a security protocol known as MXES, and was designed to keep the Mimic locked away in its prison below the Pizzaplex. After shutting MXES down, Cassie releases the Mimic and realises that the entity was a safeguard measure the entire time. Unfortunately, at this point, it's far too late. While we have no concrete information to tell us who created MXES, it's likely this was the work of Gregory and Vanessa, who teamed up to make sure Glitchtrap could never escape into the outside world ever again. Remember those traumatized Pat bots? Well, by cleansing each and every one throughout the game, upon reaching the Bonnie Bowl area, a secret room will open up at the far side of the bowling lanes. Within this room, Cassie discovers the mangled body of Glamrock Bonnie, who, as we learn from data logs collected in Security Breach, went missing one day under mysterious circumstances. Judging by the tear marks found across the surface of Bonnie's outer shell, it gives credence to the previous theory that he was attacked by Monty Gator. For a more in-depth analysis as to why Bonnie may have gone missing in the first place, feel free to check out a theory video I put together around the release of Security Breach. I'll leave a link to that at the end of this video. Finally, we have the Blob, an amalgamation of past animatronics fused into a writhing mass of tendrils with the head of Funtime Freddy. The Blob appears as a final sub-boss enemy during the secret burn trap ending of Security Breach. It is then destroyed in an explosion alongside Burn Trap during the final cutscene. Its blink and you'll miss it inclusion in this Ruin DLC suggests that the Burn Trap ending was not canon. The Blob lives on and has been tunneling through the structure of a condemned Pizzaplex building, responsible for its now ruined state. And with that, we come to the end of this video and a look at the animatronics of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin Explained. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it both entertaining and informative. If you did, remember to leave a like, comments down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.